Pisces. I hope you are doing well today. I have been feeling this really intense energy around our sign lately, and I knew I had to sit down with my cards and see what the universe wants us to know. What came through today is something that honestly gave me chills because it is so specific and so important for us to understand right now. I am going to be completely honest with you guys because that is what we deserve. The reading I am about to share with you is about being lured into toxic love situations, and I know some of you might be thinking, oh no, not me, or this does not apply to me. But please stay with me, because the insights that came through are absolutely mind-blowing, and I think every single Pisces needs to hear this. You know how we Pisces are naturally empathetic and we see the best in everyone? Well, that beautiful gift of ours can sometimes make us vulnerable to people who do not have our best interests at heart. The cards are showing me some really specific patterns and warning signs that I want to share with you today. Let me start by pulling the first card, and oh my goodness, I got the Two of Cups. Now, normally this would be such a beautiful card for love readings, but the energy around it today feels different. The Two of Cups is appearing here to show me that toxic relationships often start with what seems like perfect harmony and connection. The person who is trying to lure you into this toxic dynamic knows exactly how to mirror your energy. They study you, they watch how you respond to affection, how you light up when someone pays attention to your dreams and your sensitive nature. This card is telling me that the beginning stages feel so magical, so meant to be, that you start thinking maybe this is your soulmate connection. But here is what the universe wants you to understand about this Two of Cups energy in this context. When someone comes on really strong, really fast, when they seem to understand you better than anyone ever has within just a few conversations, when they make you feel like you have been waiting your whole life for this connection, that is actually a red flag disguised as a green light. I am getting the message that for many of you Pisces, there is someone in your energy field right now or coming into your energy field soon who has studied your social media, who knows about your past heartbreaks, who understands that you value deep emotional connection above everything else. They are going to use this information to create what feels like instant soul recognition. The Two of Cups here is warning us that real love develops gradually. Real connection has space for you to be yourself, including your less attractive moments. When someone love bombs you with perfect understanding and perfect chemistry right away, your intuitive alarm bells should be going off, even though it feels so good in the moment. I keep seeing this image of someone casting a fishing line with the perfect bait. They know exactly what kind of love story appeals to your romantic Pisces heart. They know you have probably felt misunderstood in past relationships. They know you crave someone who gets your depth and your spirituality and your artistic nature. So they become exactly that person, but it is not authentic. It is calculated. Moving on to the second card, I pulled the Five of Pentacles, and this is making so much sense with what I was just channeling. The Five of Pentacles is showing me that the person trying to lure you in often appears when you are feeling emotionally or spiritually impoverished in some way. Maybe you just got out of a relationship that left you feeling unworthy or unlovable. Maybe you have been single for a while and you are starting to wonder if there is something wrong with you. Maybe you are going through a challenging time with family or career and you are feeling more vulnerable than usual. This card is telling me that toxic people have radar for this kind of emotional vulnerability. The Five of Pentacles represents that feeling of being out in the cold, looking through the window at warmth and love that seems just out of reach. The person who wants to manipulate your beautiful Pisces heart knows how to position themselves as the warm shelter you have been seeking. They show up right when you need someone most. But here is the deeper message I am getting from this card. The Five of Pentacles is also about self-worth and recognizing your own value. The universe is asking you to really examine why you might be drawn to someone who seems too good to be true. Are you seeking external validation because you have disconnected from your own inner worth? I am seeing that many of you have gone through experiences that made you question whether you deserve healthy love. Maybe someone in your past made you feel like your sensitivity was too much, like your emotions were a burden, like your dreams were unrealistic. So when someone comes along and seems to celebrate all these things about you, it feels like finally someone who gets it. The Five of Pentacles is reminding you that you have never been broken or lacking. Your sensitivity is not a flaw that needs to be fixed by the right person loving it. Your depth is not something rare that only special people can handle. You are inherently worthy of genuine love, and you do not need to settle for someone who uses your beautiful qualities as manipulation tools. The third card I pulled is absolutely fascinating, and it gave me goosebumps. It is the Six of Cups, and in this context, it is showing me that the toxic person often uses nostalgia and childhood wounds as their way in. They somehow tap into your earliest dreams of what love should feel like. Do you remember when you were little and you had these innocent, pure ideas about romance? Maybe you watched Disney movies and imagined your Prince Charming, or you read fairy tales and dreamed of someone who would see your true worth and sweep you off your feet. The Six of Cups is telling me that manipulative people study these childhood dreams and fantasies. They present themselves as the answer to your youngest, most vulnerable hopes about love. They might even share stories about their own difficult childhood, creating this sense that you both understand each other is pain and trauma in ways no one else can. This creates a trauma bond that feels very deep and very special, but it is actually quite dangerous. I am getting the message that some of you had caregivers who were inconsistent with love. Maybe you had a parent who was wonderful when they were in a good mood, but cold or critical when they were stressed. The Six of Cups is showing me that you might unconsciously be attracted to this familiar pattern of hot and cold because it feels like home even though it hurts. The person trying to lure you in might alternate between making you feel like the most special person in the world and then becoming distant or slightly critical. This creates an addiction to their approval because it reminds your nervous system of childhood when you had to work for love and attention. But the beautiful message within the Six of Cups is that you can heal these patterns. You can give your inner child the consistent, unconditional love that was missing. You do not need someone else to come in and fix those childhood wounds by love bombing you. You can be the stable, loving presence you always needed. The fourth card is the King of Pentacles reversed, and this is showing me something really important about the type of person who tries to lure Pisces into toxic dynamics. This reversed king often represents someone who appears very successful and stable on the surface, but is actually controlling and manipulative underneath. This person might have money, status, or achievements that make them seem like a great catch. They know that many people are attracted to stability and success, especially if you have been struggling financially or feeling uncertain about your future. They use their apparent success as proof that they are someone worth being with. But the King of Pentacles reversed is revealing that this stability is often an illusion, or it comes with strings attached. They might be generous with expensive gifts early on, taking you to fancy restaurants, buying you things you mentioned wanting. This generosity feels so good, especially if you have been struggling or if past partners were not able to provide this kind of security. However, I am getting the message that this generosity always comes with expectations. They keep track of what they have done for you. They expect gratitude, compliance, and eventually dependence in return. What starts as generous gift giving slowly transforms into control through financial manipulation. The reversed King of Pentacles is also showing me someone who might be successful in business or career, but terrible at genuine intimacy. They know how to perform stability and success, but they do not know how to be truly vulnerable or supportive of your emotional needs. They might even mock your sensitivity or your spiritual interests once they feel they have secured your attachment. This card is warning you to pay attention to how someone treats people who cannot do anything for them. How do they speak to waiters, to their family members, to people they consider beneath them? The reversed king might be charming to you while being cruel to others, and eventually that cruelty will turn toward you too. The fifth card I pulled is the Three of Swords, and this one made my heart heavy because it is showing me the inevitable result of being lured into these toxic dynamics. The Three of Swords represents the heartbreak that comes when you finally see the person for who they really are, not who they pretended to be. This card is appearing not to scare you, but to help you understand that the pain you feel when these relationships end is not just sadness, it is grief. You are grieving the loss of who you thought this person was. You are grieving the future you imagined together. You are grieving your own innocence and trust. The Three of Swords is showing me that many of you have already experienced this kind of heartbreak, and it left you feeling like maybe you are just not good at judging people. Maybe you started questioning your intuition because you feel like you completely missed the red flags. But that is not true, beautiful Pisces. Your intuition was actually working perfectly. Those moments when you felt slightly confused by something they said, those times when their words did not quite match their actions, those instances when you felt like you were walking on eggshells without knowing why, that was your intuition trying to protect you. The problem is that we Pisces tend to override our intuition when we desperately want something to work out. We talk ourselves out of our gut feelings because we do not want to seem paranoid, or because we hope we are wrong about the bad vibes we are picking up. The Three of Swords is reminding you that it is better to trust your intuition and potentially miss out on something that could have been good than to ignore your intuition and definitely get hurt by something that was designed to harm you. Your sensitivity is not a weakness, it is your superpower, but you have to trust it even when your heart wants to believe in someone. I am also getting the message that some of you are currently in relationships that do not feel quite right, and you are wondering if you are being too sensitive or too demanding. The Three of Swords is telling you that if you constantly feel anxious, confused, or like you have to justify your needs, then your heart is already trying to tell you something important. The sixth card is the Ace of Wands reversed, and this is showing me something crucial about these toxic dynamics. The reversed Ace of Wands represents blocked creativity, suppressed passion, and loss of personal power. This is what happens when you get involved with someone who seems to celebrate your uniqueness, but actually wants to control it. In the beginning, they might seem so supportive of your artistic projects, your spiritual practices, your dreams and goals. They love how creative you are, how intuitive, how different from everyone else. But slowly, subtly, they start to redirect that creative energy towards serving their needs instead of expressing your authentic self. Maybe they suggest that your art would be more marketable if you changed this or that. Maybe they need you to be available for their schedule so much that you do not have time for your own creative projects anymore. Maybe they subtly mock your spiritual beliefs or suggest that you are becoming too focused on yourself. The Ace of Wands reversed is warning you that your creative and spiritual life should flourish in a healthy relationship, not diminish. If being with someone makes you less yourself, if you find yourself abandoning projects that used to bring you joy, if you start doubting your own interests and passions, then this person is not supporting your highest good. I am getting a really strong message that for Pisces especially, your creativity and spirituality are not just hobbies, they are essential parts of who you are. Someone who truly loves you will encourage these parts of yourself, not try to reshape them for their own comfort or control. The reversed Ace of Wands is also showing me that these toxic people often have very little creative or spiritual life of their own. They are drawn to your light and your inspiration, but instead of developing their own inner world, they try to live vicariously through yours while simultaneously controlling it. The seventh card I pulled is the Queen of Swords, and she is here with such a clear message. The Queen of Swords represents your ability to think clearly, to see through illusions, and to protect yourself with healthy boundaries. She is the part of you that can love deeply, but also love wisely. This queen is reminding you that love should never require you to abandon your critical thinking skills. Real love can withstand questions, concerns, and conversations about boundaries. If someone gets angry or defensive when you try to understand them better, or when you express your needs clearly, that tells you everything you need to know. The Queen of Swords is also showing me that you have the ability to recognize manipulation tactics, but you might doubt yourself because these tactics are often subtle and they exploit your natural compassion. Let me share some of the patterns this queen is highlighting for you to watch out for. Love bombing followed by withdrawal. They shower you with attention and affection until you start to depend on it, Then they pull back and make you work to get that feeling back. Gaslighting your perceptions. When you bring up something that bothered you, they make you feel like you are being too sensitive or remembering things wrong. Playing victim when confronted. Whenever you try to address problems in the relationship, they somehow turn it around so that you end up comforting them instead of getting your concerns addressed. The Queen of Swords wants you to trust your logical mind as much as your intuitive heart. If someone's story keeps changing, if their words do not match their actions consistently, if you feel confused and anxious more often than you feel peaceful and secure, then your logical mind is trying to protect you. This queen is also reminding you that you can be compassionate and boundaried at the same time. Understanding why someone behaves badly does not mean you have to accept that behavior in your life. You can have empathy for someone's struggles while still protecting yourself from their dysfunction. The 8th card is the 4 of Cups reversed, and this is such an important message about breaking free from these toxic patterns. The 4 of Cups reversed represents awakening from apathy and disillusionment. It shows that you are ready to stop accepting crumbs and start recognizing what real nourishment looks like. This card often appears when you have been settling for less than you deserve for so long that you almost forgot what genuine care and respect feel like. The 4 of Cups reversed is a wake-up call. It is your soul saying, I am ready for something real now. I am tired of these hollow connections that drain my energy instead of replenishing it. I am getting the message that many of you have been in situations where you convinced yourself that dramatic, chaotic love was passionate love. You might have thought that if someone did not trigger your anxiety and make you feel like you had to prove your worth, then maybe the connection was not deep enough or exciting enough. But the 4 of Cups reversed is showing you a different definition of love. Real love feels peaceful more often than it feels chaotic. Real love makes you feel more like yourself, not less. Real love gives you energy instead of draining it. Real love encourages your growth instead of keeping you small and dependent. This card is also about recognizing the opportunities for genuine connection that might be available to you, but that you have been overlooking because they do not have that addictive intensity that you associate with strong attraction. The 4 of Cups reversed is asking you to consider that maybe healthy love feels different than what you are used to. Maybe healthy love feels calm instead of thrilling. Maybe it feels secure instead of uncertain. Maybe it feels supportive instead of challenging. This does not mean it is boring or lacks depth. It means it gives you a stable foundation from which to explore life, creativity, and intimacy, instead of constantly having to focus your energy on managing relationship drama. The 9th card is the 10 of Swords, and I know this might look scary, but in this context, it is actually a very hopeful card. The 10 of Swords represents the end of suffering, the moment when you finally say, enough is enough, and refuse to continue participating in your own destruction. This card is showing me that recognizing toxic patterns is often painful because it requires you to admit that you have been accepting treatment that goes against your values and your worth. It might mean acknowledging that you ignored red flags because you wanted so badly for the relationship to work. It might mean facing the fact that you have been trying to earn love from someone who is incapable of giving it genuinely. But the 10 of Swords is also about liberation. It is the moment when you stop making excuses for someone's behavior and start making decisions based on your own well-being. It is when you realize that being alone is actually much better than being with someone who makes you feel alone even when you are together. I am getting the message that some of you are approaching this 10 of Swords moment right now. You are getting tired of feeling anxious and confused in your relationships. You are starting to remember what peace feels like, and you are realizing how much you have missed it. The 10 of Swords is encouraging you to trust this awakening process. It is okay to grieve the relationships that did not work out the way you hoped. It is okay to feel sad about having to protect yourself from people you cared about. But it is also incredibly empowering to choose your own well-being over someone else's comfort or convenience. This card is also reminding you that every ending creates space for new beginnings. When you stop investing your energy in relationships that deplete you, you create room for connections that actually nourish your soul. The final card I pulled is the Page of Wands, and this is such a beautiful, hopeful energy to end on. The Page of Wands represents new, creative, and passionate beginnings, but this time from a place of wisdom and self-awareness, instead of naive hope. This page is showing me that once you clear these toxic patterns from your life, you will discover a different kind of excitement about love and relationships. Instead of the addictive high of drama and uncertainty, you will start to feel excited about genuine compatibility, shared values, and mutual growth. The Page of Wands is also about trusting your creative instincts in all areas of life, including love. You might start to approach relationships more like an artist approaches a canvas, with curiosity and creativity rather than desperation and need. You will begin to see relationships as collaborative works of art rather than competitions or power struggles. I am getting the message that this page energy is already awakening in some of you. You might be feeling more interested in your own projects and goals lately. You might be feeling less willing to compromise your values for the sake of keeping someone interested. You might be feeling more excited about your future in general, even if you are single right now. The Page of Wands is reminding you that your enthusiasm and passion are gifts, not liabilities. The right person will be inspired by your energy, not threatened by it. The right person will want to create beautiful experiences with you, not control or diminish your natural brightness. This card is also encouraging you to approach new connections with playful discernment. You can be open and optimistic while also being wise about how much you invest and how quickly. The Page of Wands knows how to explore possibilities without losing herself in them. Okay, beautiful Pisces souls, let me summarize what came through in this reading, because there was so much important information. The cards are warning us about people who study our sensitive, empathetic nature and use it against us. They know exactly how to present themselves as our soulmate or our savior, especially when we are feeling vulnerable or lonely. These people often come with impressive presentations of success or stability, but underneath they are controlling and manipulative. They love bomb us in the beginning, making us feel understood and cherished in ways we have never experienced. But this is not authentic connection. It is calculated seduction. The universe wants us to understand that our intuition is always working to protect us, even when our hearts want to believe in someone. Those moments of confusion, anxiety, or unease are not signs that we are being too sensitive. They are signs that something is not right, and we need to pay attention. Real love supports our creativity, our spirituality, and our personal growth. It makes us feel more like ourselves, not less. It gives us energy instead of draining it. It feels peaceful and secure more often than it feels chaotic and uncertain. The cards are encouraging us to trust our logical minds as much as our intuitive hearts. We can be compassionate and boundaried at the same time. We can have empathy for someone's struggles without accepting their dysfunction in our lives. Most importantly, the reading is telling us that we are worthy of genuine love, not the counterfeit version that toxic people offer. Our sensitivity is not a flaw that needs to be managed by the right person. It is a gift that deserves to be celebrated and protected. I hope this reading resonates with those of you who need to hear it. Remember that recognizing these patterns is the first step to breaking free from them. Trust your beautiful, intuitive Pisces heart, but also trust your wise, discerning mind. You deserve love that feels like home, not love that feels like a battlefield. Thank you for letting me share this with you today. Take care of yourselves and remember that you are so much more powerful than you know.